Wilson Golf have been making players' irons for many years. I've got my hands on the Wilson D7 Forged. I'm going to put it through its paces and see what it's all about. I've set up a really famous approach shot, 18 at Pebble Beach. Hopefully that water on the left is going to be out of play for me, but there is a bunker short right. Got about 180 carry to the pin and we're slightly uphill, so I'm going to have to strike it pretty well because 180 is approximately my carry distance for a 7-iron, which is what I'm hitting. So let's see how this Wilson D7 performs. Well, the first thing I'm going to talk about is kind of how the club looks back behind the golf ball, and it pretty much looks like the other models from previous years from Wilson. There's nothing overly different about this. It's got a medium to thin top line. The head maybe a little bit longer from heel to toe than what you'd expect from a player's club, or that's the appearance that it has. Offset wise, there's just a tiny little bit of offset, and overall it's quite pleasant. There's nothing particularly distracting about the head, there's nothing off-putting at all. Quite like it, not too bad. Right, shot number one to this tricky approach shot. Let's see what we can do. A little left, could be in the bunker. Oh no, it's not too bad. That's okay, I'm going to take that. Strike wise, that was maybe just a fraction out towards the toe. I got that sensation through the club as well, so for people that are looking for feedback from these irons, it appears on first shot that you're going to get that feedback. That was just a hair towards the toe and it felt like it. Now for all those data geeks, I'm going to put all the data for each shot at the bottom of the screen. If you want to, you can pause the screen and you can have a look through all the data from each of the shots. Now that first one, we got a carry of 178, which is kind of in and around where I'd expect it to be, with a strike that wasn't optimal. It was close to the centre, but not quite. So it dropped off a couple of yards from what I would expect. Right, shot number two. This one's a little bit more straight. Centre of the green, I think. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I'll take that. That was right out the centre of the club, and that actually felt pretty good as well. That felt like a forged iron, that one. The other one felt maybe a little bit metallic, if that makes sense. Felt a little bit clinky. That one felt really quite good. And again, we got 178 carry out of that. Now, I'd probably expect there to be a little bit more out of it, but you know, if it's within a few yards, that's fine. Let's see if we can get this one a little bit closer to the pin. Now it's a little bit more to the left, and that felt a bit heely. It was just slightly towards the heel. Still hitting the green, so I'm not overly disappointed. But again, you could actually sense that that was from the heel, and it was probably 6-7 mil further to the left than the strike that was in the centre, and you could tell. So again, I think that's going to be something maybe a better player is looking for. They want some feedback from the head, and you're getting it with this D7. That was 177 carry, so even though I've kind of struck not quite all of the head just yet, but I've hit one slightly toe, one slightly heel, and one right out the centre, and yet the distance isn't varying all that much. So again, something that a better player may appreciate is consistency with distance. Right, shot number 4. Come on, let's get this one close. This is pretty much right at it. Oh! What's the opposite of a member's bounce? That was a visitor's bounce, that one. But again, I'm really happy with it, 14 feet. You'd be taking that if you were playing in a competition round here. That strike was even more towards the heel. Got an excuse lined up though. It's a really hot day today. I think it's the hottest day of the year so far, and it does get quite warm in this room if I've not got the aircon on. Maybe I should put it on, but it does make a bit of a noise, and my hands are a little bit moist, and the club felt as though it slipped that time. I've got a little book that I write all these excuses down in. Right, last shot, come on, let's see if we can get this one really close. Back left green. Oh, bunker. Poor shot. that was user error, that wasn't really the club. Strike was good, strike was in the middle of the face, club face was maybe just a little bit closed, was it? Yeah, it's kind of 3.5, 4 degrees closed to the path, so the ball's going to move a little bit from right to left in the air. Subsequently as well, we got a little bit more yardage, 185 out of that one. So let's come to a conclusion about this Wilson D7 forged iron. Appearances wise, I think it's a particularly nice looking golf club when it's sat in your bag and it's on the shelf. I think it's going to attract quite a few people to it because it is a good looking club, there's no two ways about it. Behind the ball, nothing particularly spectacular about it. It is nice looking, but there are better looking irons out there, I believe. I was impressed by the fact that I hit some slightly off-centre hits, yet I was able to retain the carry distance. That was really impressive. If you're somebody confident that they're hitting the centre of the club more often than not, and there's the odd shot here and there that misses centre, this is going to be quite favourable. Feel-wise, not on the softer side, in my opinion. Again, I was hitting the ball indoors, so you don't really get the dampening effect of when you're hitting from turf. And I'm using Pro V1 balls as well, and they're not the softest feeling ball on the market. Acoustics, it was kind of a little bit metallic-y, a little bit tinny maybe, is what I was getting when I was hitting balls indoors. I'm keen to actually take this club to the golf course at some stage soon to get a little bit more of a truer sense as to what this club feels like out there on the course. Through experience, irons tend to feel a little bit softer and sound a little bit less metallic or sort of tinny when you're out there hitting the ball from grass. Numbers wise, really happy with it, 179, which is pretty much bang on my total. However, there are two things that concern me a little bit with the numbers that were coming out from this iron in that test, and that was the spin rate and it was the descent angle. The spin rate was quite low for a 7 iron. That was a little bit more like what I would expect from maybe a 6 iron. The peak height was quite low for me. I'd be expecting it to be around about 100, 110 feet in the air, and this was kind of down towards 90. And that peak height and the low spin was giving me a fairly shallow descent angle, and I didn't really feel as though the ball was under that much control when it hit the green. But these characteristics of clubs are things that you've got to take into account when you go to a fitting. What are you looking for from a golf club? But all in all, definitely something to go out there and try. It's going to be a little bit cheaper than some of the, I hate to say the sort of top brands, because I believe that Wilson is in there as a top brand because the clubs are very, very high quality. But the price is going to be a little bit lower, so it's definitely something to try if you're on a little bit of a budget. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. I'll be doing an on-course test for this club very, very soon.